Hello and welcome. Today, I'll be introducing the Professional Indemnity (PIR) insurance for engineers in Malaysia and protecting engineers against professional risks and liabilities. Professional Indemnity (PIR) insurance, also known as Professional Liability or Professional Indemnity Takaful, is a specialized form of coverage designed to protect professionals and firms against legal costs, expenses, and damages resulting from claims of negligence, errors, omissions, or breaches of professional duty. This type of insurance is particularly relevant for those providing professional services such as design, checking, advice, and reporting. The policy typically covers defense costs, settlement awards, and judgments up to the policy limit. It is structured to safeguard professionals from financial losses that may arise due to mistakes or oversights in the course of their work. PI insurance is essential for maintaining professional credibility and ensuring that practitioners can continue their operations without the threat of debilitating legal expenses. It is a critical risk management tool that supports the integrity and reliability of professional services. In Malaysia, professional indemnity insurance is not universally mandated by law for all engineers. The Registration of Engineers Act and BM regulations do not impose a blanket statutory requirement for every registered professional engineer to carry PI insurance. However, authoritative sources such as BM circulars and professional guidance strongly advise engineers to maintain PI coverage, especially when undertaking roles with significant liability exposure. For instance, engineers acting as accredited checkers, contract checkers, or those accepting liabilities in contracts are explicitly warned to have adequate PI cover. Moreover, clients, employers, and public tenders often require proof of PI insurance as a contractual condition. This means that while PI insurance may not be legally compulsory, it is effectively mandatory in practice for many engineers and firms due to client and tender requirements. Engineers must assess their roles and contractual obligations to determine the necessity of PI coverage. A typical professional indemnity policy provides coverage for legal defense costs and claimant awards arising from professional negligence, errors, or omissions. It also covers breaches of duty in delivering professional services, such as incorrect design details, calculation mistakes, or flawed advice. Most PI policies operate on a claims-made basis, meaning they cover claims first made and notified during the policy period, subject to any retroactive date. However, there are notable exclusions. These include deliberate criminal acts, fraud, or willful misconduct, as well as contractual fines or penalties that are legally uninsurable. Bodily injury and third-party property damage are generally excluded, as they fall under other liability policies. Additionally, known claims or circumstances disclosed before the policy's retroactive date are not covered. Understanding these inclusions and exclusions is vital for professionals to ensure they have appropriate protection and to avoid gaps in coverage. Professional indemnity policies typically include several important technical features. The claims-made wording means that coverage is provided for claims made and reported during the policy period, provided the incident occurred after the retroactive date. This necessitates maintaining continuous PI coverage or purchasing an extended reporting or run-off period when ceasing practice or changing insurers. The retroactive date is crucial for covering past work, and policies must be structured to include appropriate prior acts coverage. The limit of indemnity defines the maximum amount the insurer will pay for all claims within the policy period, often with per claim and aggregate limits. Additionally, policies include a deductible or excess, which is the amount payable by the insured for each claim. Jurisdiction and territorial limits specify where claims can be brought and may exclude certain regions. These features collectively determine the scope and effectiveness of the PI policy and must be carefully reviewed by professionals. There is no single national minimum requirement for professional indemnity coverage for engineers in Malaysia. The appropriate limit depends on various factors, including the size of the project, client or tender requirements, and the engineer's specific role. Market practices vary significantly. Small local consultants may hold coverage between RM 100,000 and RM 500,000, while mid-sized firms commonly maintain limits of Rm1 million to Rm3 million. Larger consultancies, especially those involved in high-risk or high-value infrastructure projects or public sector work, often carry limits of Rm5 million, Rm10 million, or more, sometimes using layered or excess protection. Tender documents frequently specify the minimum required limit, making it essential for engineers to review these requirements carefully. Additionally, professional bodies like the Association of Consulting Engineers Malaysia, ACEM, offer or facilitate PI insurance programs tailored for consulting engineers, which can simplify the process and provide customized coverage options. Professional indemnity insurance is essential for consulting engineers and engineering firms that provide services such as design, supervision, checking, certification, feasibility studies, or specialist advice. These roles inherently carry significant professional liability, making PI coverage a critical safeguard. Specifically, engineers serving as accredited checkers are strongly advised by the Board of Engineers Malaysia, BM, to obtain PI insurance due to the liabilities they accept. Clients and employers frequently make PI insurance a contractual prerequisite for appointment, further emphasizing its importance. Engineers must evaluate their responsibilities and the potential risks associated with their work to determine the necessity of PI coverage. Ensuring adequate insurance not only protects the individual or firm but also enhances professional credibility and compliance with industry standards. Several factors influence the premium cost of professional indemnity insurance. The limit of indemnity is a primary determinant. Higher limits result in higher premiums. The nature and size of the projects also play a significant role. Structural or high-risk works typically attract higher rates. The claims history of the firm or individual is another critical factor, as past claims can increase the perceived risk. Retroactive date and runoff requirements affect the scope of coverage and thus the premium. Additionally, the number of principals, overall turnover, and geographical exposure contribute to the cost. The specific wording of the policy, such as whether defense costs are included within the limit or provided separately, and any extended coverage, also impact the premium. Understanding these factors helps professionals make informed decisions when purchasing PI insurance and ensures they obtain suitable coverage at a reasonable cost. In Malaysia, professional indemnity insurance is available through various channels. Commercial insurers and takaful operators offer PI products, many of which are specifically designed for engineers and consultants. It is important to review the product disclosure sheet, PDS, and certificate wording to understand the coverage details. Due to the specialized nature of PI insurance and the variability in policy wordings and clauses, many firms opt to use insurance brokers who are experienced in PI. These brokers can help navigate the complexities and ensure compliance with tender requirements. Additionally, industry and group schemes facilitated by professional bodies such as the Association of Consulting Engineers Malaysia, ACEM, provide structured programs tailored for consulting engineers. These schemes often offer better pricing, customized wording, and simplified proof for tenders, making them a valuable resource for professionals seeking PI coverage. Engineers should adhere to several best practices when managing professional indemnity insurance. First, they must review contract and tender requirements to confirm the necessary limit, wording, jurisdiction, and coverage period. Many contracts specify minimum coverage and may require named insureds or additional endorsements. Second, engineers should be cautious of claims-made traps by maintaining continuous PI coverage and securing runoff or extended reporting periods when ceasing practice or selling a firm. Third, coverage should be matched to the risk profile. Small building designs may need modest limits, while complex infrastructure projects require higher limits and possibly excess layers. Fourth, accurate documentation of projects, approvals, site supervision, and client instructions is essential, as it significantly impacts defense in case of a claim. Finally, insurers must be notified promptly of potential claims, as late notification can jeopardize coverage. These practices ensure robust protection and compliance with professional standards. When a claim is made under a professional indemnity policy, the insurer typically appoints and funds defense counsel and manages settlement negotiations, provided the insured cooperates fully. This process ensures that professionals are supported during legal proceedings and that settlements are handled efficiently. If a professional ceases practice, it is crucial to obtain runoff insurance or an extended reporting period to maintain coverage for claims related to past services. Claims can arise years after the work is completed, making runoff coverage an essential component of risk management. Without it, professionals may be exposed to significant liabilities without the protection of their PI policy. Understanding and planning for claims handling and runoff ensures long-term security and compliance with contractual and professional obligations. Before purchasing or renewing professional indemnity insurance, engineers should follow a comprehensive checklist. First, confirm the minimum limit, wording, and jurisdiction required by contracts or tenders. Second, determine the appropriate limit based on the size and nature of projects undertaken. Third, verify whether the policy is claims-made and check the retroactive date and runoff options to ensure coverage for past work. Fourth, review exclusions such as cyber risks, pollution, and contractual penalties to understand the scope of coverage. Finally, consider using an experienced broker or participating in an industry scheme like those offered by ACM, which provide tailored wording and simplified compliance with tender requirements. This checklist helps engineers secure adequate and effective PI coverage, aligning with professional and contractual expectations. For consulting engineers practicing in Malaysia, professional indemnity insurance should be treated as essential. Although it is not universally mandated by statute, it is commonly required by clients, tenders, and strongly recommended by the Board of Engineers Malaysia, BEM, particularly for roles such as accredited checkers. Engineers are advised to consult with specialist brokers or professional bodies like the Association of Consulting Engineers Malaysia, ACEM, to determine the appropriate coverage limits and policy wording for their specific projects. Ensuring that the policy includes a suitable retroactive date and runoff arrangements is critical for maintaining continuous protection. By proactively managing PI insurance, engineers can safeguard their professional practice, meet contractual obligations, and uphold industry standards.
If you like our content, kindly like, share and subscribe.